Good evening. Welcome to the evening transmission Sanj Chali on Rajdhani channel of All India Radio on medium wave 50.5 meters corresponding to 666 kHz. Please stand by. This is All India Radio. We now bring you the comments from the press.
This is All India Radio. You will now hear comments from the press. The Economic Times in its editorial title of Bold Reform on Corporate Tax Rights, Finance Minister Nirmala Sitharaman unveiled the mother of all direct tax reforms, proposing a cut in the corporate tax rate for domestic companies to 22% and new domestic manufacturing companies to 15% against 30% now provided the eschew exemptions and the minimum alternate tax MAT. Adding surcharges and cess, the 22% rate becomes 25.17%. We welcome the basic principle of lowering rates to Asian levels while doing away with exemptions. It will make large Indian companies much more competitive, leave them with more cash for investment, change India's branding as a high tax jurisdiction, and motivate global players to set up shop here. Not unexpectedly, industry and markets have cheered the reform that brings down the effective corporate tax rate by about 5 percentage points. Companies could be tempted to avail themselves of the new 15% rate for the new manufacturing capacity that would boost growth. Companies that do not opt for the concessional tax regime and enjoy tax exemptions will continue to pay at the pre-amended rates but can move to the new regime after the tax holiday ends. The tax burden 40% plus surcharge has not been lowered for foreign companies, widening the gap in the tax rate between Indian and foreign companies. The anomaly needs to be corrected. Ideally, a uniform low corporate tax rate for domestic companies is simpler than multiple rates and administratively less cumbersome. Surcharges must go, sparing listed companies that have already announced buyback of shares before the budget from the tax on buyback is welcome. The giveaways will cost the government around rupees 1,45,000 crore. If sentiments improve and investment activity intensifies and growth picks up, tax buoyancy could reduce that figure. If not, we are looking at a fiscal deficit that is a tad higher than the budgeted 3.3% of the GDP in 2019-20. But that would be no disaster. The tax is to simplify GST and get more companies on board, thickening the mash of audit trails whose analysis and follow-up can lead to much income amenable to direct taxes, both corporate and personal. The Asian Age in its editorial titled Kerala Internet Order of Blow for Freedom Rights, Justice P.V. Asha of the Kerala High Court advanced the cause of fundamental human freedoms by 7 league broods on Thursday, as she held the right to have access to the internet was a part of the fundamental right to education as well as privacy and Article 21 of the Constitution. She struck down the hostel rules of Kozhikode College, which banned the use of mobile phones for girl students between 6 p.m. and 10 p.m. and prohibited the use of laptop computers in the hostel premises. She cited in a ruling the UN Human Rights Council, according to which the right to internet access is a fundamental freedom and a tool to ensure the right to education. She also cited the Supreme Court in Vishaka and Ors versus the state of Rajasthan and Ors, AIR 1997 SC 3011, wherein it was held that in light of Article 51C and Article 253 of the Constitution and the role of the judiciary envisaged in the Beijing Statement, International Conference for the Elimination of All Forms of Discrimination against Women 1979, and observed that international conventions and norms must be read into the fundamental rights in India in the absence of enacted domestic law in the field. In the context of the hostel case before her, the judge noted the only restriction to be imposed was that mobile phone use should not create a disturbance for other students. In 2016, the UN Human Rights Council had released a non-binding resolution condemning the intentional disruption of internet access by governments. Several governments worldwide, in one form or another, either through outright enactment or judicial rulings, have lent their support to this important aspiration. India was not one of them. It remains to be seen if the Kerala High Court order will override the non-binding aspect of the UNHRC resolution. Even so, going to Article 19 of the Universal Declaration of Human Rights, everyone has the right to freedom of opinion or expression, and this right includes the freedom to seek, receive and impart information and ideas through any means regardless of frontiers. India, the right to freedom to connect and access the internet has been held as a fundamental human right. The Statesman in its editorial title Fact, Fiction, Figures writes, fires can be the same and different. There are at least 3 facets to the fire in Indonesia that have distinguished the devastation from that in the forests of Amazon. For one, the haze from the flames has spread to Singapore, Malaysia, Sumatra and Borneo Islands. Second, unlike Brazil's President Jair Bolsonaro, the government in Indonesia has responded suitably to the catastrophe. Yet and there must be that just as wildfires welcome to clear land for industry, as in the Amazon, so too have illegal fires cleared the land for agricultural plantations in a swathe of Asia. The underpinning is bizarre if indeed commercial interests, be it industry or agricultural economy, are accorded precedence to the need to douse the flames. The fire is blazing out of control in the islands of Sumatra and